Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm John Macaroon, just finishing up lunch. I, like all of you, jarred by what I just saw. First of all, it was a wild scene to think about in that courtroom, and to see Sherrone Moore in that light as somebody that obviously covers sports, that covers Michigan State, that's been in Ann Arbor, that sat across from Sherrone Moore in a media room. Jarring to see him sit there in that Zoom conference, to see him in that light. It's just always jarring to see somebody that you've known in a different light as a leader of men, as a head coach of a program that is tasked with achieving things at the highest level, and then to see him at probably what will be his lowest moment in his life. Jarring. What's your reaction? So naturally, my intention today is just, twofold: to talk psychologically, because clearly I will reveal and discuss, if some of you don't know, what my other role in life is and has been, and my true, I have two passions: sports and psychology. And I get an opportunity to really do both at an equal and a very high level. And I'm very happy that in my career, I am going on 21 years, 22 years practicing as a mental health clinician. It's amazing. It's a blessing. It's the reward of my life. It's been an opportunity to learn about a variety of different people all across Metro Detroit, the entire landscape of people I have worked with. And it's been great. And the best way I describe it is I help people. That's what I do. Whatever they need help with, we work together as a team to try and make things better. That's it. That's the best way to describe one aspect of my life. But what has made it fascinating is most people can't say they've studied human behavior for 25 years. I have, intently. Some of these books are sports books. Some of these books are psychology books. Why do people do the shit that they do? It's fascinating. And for some people, you go down that road of like, okay, you can question it or you can go study it. I have, in my formidable years, in my late 20s and my 30s, I've spent diligent amount of hours studying people, what makes them tick, what makes them operate. Now, there is that fine, interesting dichotomy that people have, in that, do I believe you can use mental health as an excuse to explain bad behaviors, like in a legal sense? That is a conflict that you can go back and forth for days. I'm more, being Middle Eastern, more about accountability. You can use psychology to explain why someone like Sherrone Moore did what he did. But I fully believe in, if you violate laws, I don't particularly like it to do an evaluation, to have somebody say, hey, John, evaluate this person. And let's just say he's depressed, or for example, an individual is depressed. This explains why, they should get off of court and not have to face the consequences for their actions. I don't believe that. I am more of a judicial kind of person. Like, hey, if you are in a situation, your mental health is your responsibility, just like keeping your stability and your wits about you is your responsibility. Now, it can go astray. It can truly go astray. And it can put people in danger. It can do a lot of things that can be harmful. So we're going to take a look at it just on a psychological sense for a time period, just to give you guys a sense of what could be happening and what will happen with Sherrone Moore on a human level. But to me, I don't use psychology as a way to excuse those type of behaviors. And so that's what's always been tough, is a lot of times you'll be contacted from attorneys and you clearly know what they want. Please document what the symptoms are, what happened to this person, and then that report will be used to defend a client. But I've moved away from that. Now I'm, being that I have a well-established career in sports, my career in psychology has been now a lot more selective, and I get to, choose who I work with and what type of assistance I can provide. That's the benefit of having a career this long, is that in my early years, I worked in community mental health, the toughest of the tough, trauma. I worked with youth that have been dealing with all sorts of issues, and then gradually moved through the ranks of community mental health, and now I do my own thing. A true blessing. I gained the confidence. I never thought that I could run my own little practice and somebody would actually, call in droves. So it's been a blessing and an honor to serve in that role. But you guys mostly see me here as a podcaster and the sports guy, but deeply, deeply, I have a whole other side. But I should talk about it. I mean, I've studied it. And in these matters, it's an interesting perspective to have. Now, I only would have did it. Some guy messaged me, a Lions fan, messaged and said, "You shouldn't talk like that." They didn't understand. Theoretically, and I'll get to you in a moment. It's a great question. I ain't say that. Theoretically, it could happen. I've received calls from that county plenty of times. I received calls from many counties in that, hey, we have these, situations in which people are required for mental health evaluation. You just saw, if you paid attention, Sherrone Moore's attorney said that in accordance with the rules to allow him to be bonded out, he must maintain appointments with a mental health professional. That could be me. Now, I could not accept, clearly ethically, being that I have been in the same room with them in a different capacity. I'm also a Michigan State fan. And so there would be mixed emotions and things like that. I would not accept Sherrone Moore as a client. And I couldn't tell you if I did. I couldn't tell you if it ever did happen. But I would tell you up front, guys, the listening audience, I could not ethically treat Sherrone Moore. I'd sure love to. Curious, obviously, the psychologist in me is my curiosity is piqued regarding what caused this level of dysfunction for that individual. And I'm going to speculate. I have an opportunity to break down kind of what's in my head about it. And I wouldn't have did it clearly until section 344 on Twitter is like, why would you say that? Why? Because it's true. And on X, I just say whatever I want. But he can't handle the truth. He messaged me without even knowing my expertise. Because I don't really, I like to brag about the sports accomplishments. The others is more like altruistic. It's my human side that I help people. But for 25 years in Metro Detroit, I have helped people. And it's the joy of my life. Every day I carve out time to help people. It's the right thing to do. Given that I'm a nice person. Given I have a great head on my shoulders. Given I know the keys to success. And now I know the keys to happiness. Why wouldn't I share that? And provide a platform for somebody if they want to talk or opine or weigh in. I have the patience and I have the toughness, thick skin. I've been blessed in life. So why not give back? Why not be a listening shoulder? Why not be an advisor? Why not be somebody that says, hey, you're kind of on this path. What do we think about what would happen if we go on this path? It's a rewarding opportunity that I don't talk about a lot, but I should. I mean, I put my life into it. Went to school for it, got a degree in it, 2 advanced degrees. Why not? Every once in a while. Second half of the podcast, we'll talk about the Lions for sure. My other real expertise, sports, and pissing off fans on X. I can do that like this. A couple tweets and people will message. But we will talk about a serious matter. Now, first and foremost, you will understand that obviously I use humor and levity to deal with tough situations at first. But there are serious matters, clearly. But I use humor and sarcasm and trolling to initially talk about stuff. Forgive me. Forgive me for I have trolled on the internet. Forgive me for I have trolled on the internet. Tell jokes. And also, too, it's also a little bit of like, hey, wait a minute. All you Michigan fans that are going to read that, you kind of laid it on pretty thick about Michigan State. And your guy is sitting there in a white outfit. Uh-oh. I ain't say that. Thank you kindly for the $5 super chat. Members of the stream, pay attention. You can use the emojis. You can like the stream. Appreciate it. Like, hit the notification bell. I ain't say that with $5. Do his actions make you think he's done things before? I've always wanted to be a psychologist, Doc. I'm 31. Can I still do it? I love the human mind. Of course, you can do anything. Study it. It'll take you about 5 years. Study it. Absolutely. Study it, and if you wanna help people, it's one of the most rewarding things you can do. And the funny part about this is people will always say to me, "You listen to people complain?" No. That's so simple. That's like just somebody messaging me on X, "You're telling jokes, I don't like it." No. It goes beyond that. I help people. That's what I do. I take people from one spot and we work together to get them to another. And at the very least, they're more psychologically well-rounded. I pass along my expertise and I pass along the secrets to happiness. Why? Because I think if you watch the stream, you always see that guy kind of looks happy. Generally speaking, like everybody else, I'm a happy person. And so I would be selfish to keep that to myself. I know the keys to happiness. I know the keys to behavior. Now, first and foremost, I ain't say that. I want you to take that journey. If that's in your heart, go take that journey. Of course. It's well rewarding to be able to study people and help them get to where they need to go. It's absolutely the most part of my happiness is helping people. I truly get the altruistic joy when a client and I don't really like call them clients when a person I'm working with goes from where they were to where their goal is. It's the best feeling in the world. There's no feeling like it. Do my now, let's talk about it. Of course, he's had it's been reported that he's been engaging in these actions for a couple years. So let's talk about it. Now, I have to set the preface of all these rules so that all the people that complain on the internet, I do not know anything about the person Sherrone Moore. I am going off behavior and what behavior patterns that he's acted typically represent. Okay. I don't know his story. Granted, like I said, I'm a Michigan State fan. I cared about could you beat the Spartans? Why are you a winner? Why are you not a good football coach? That's the lens through which I studied Sherrone Moore. Can you take Bryce Underwood from being a prospect to a great quarterback? So far in year one, it was no. So I know him as a coach that doesn't understand offense. Doesn't understand 2025 offense. Now, also, you guys can weigh in, ask your questions. We're doing this the same thing, just from my lens as a mental health clinician. As a mental health clinician, my expertise. First and foremost, this type of behavior, okay? What's going to happen in evaluation? They're going to go through his history. They're going to ask, has he been in therapy before? What's been the level of his life in the past? And it would tend to lead to some sort of trauma. Something maybe he was exposed to matters of sex early before he was developmentally ready. This type of behavior that he engaged in clearly is not normal to message that many females. Now, we've all slid into DMs before, but not to that degree. Every female reporter, allegedly, that type of lack of boundaries is concerning. Lending toward sex addiction or addictive type personality. How does that form? Typically, that forms from premature exposure to those kind of matters in your teenage years. Maybe being a victim of some sort of trauma of a variety of sorts. Typically, that's in there when you see this kind of Diddy behavior and Sherrone Moore behavior. Typically, that is a sign of some sort of unfortunate trauma. And it's unfortunate. You do have to feel sympathy for that behavior. Now, like people will say, it's no excuse. Your mental health and people have been traumatized in youth that don't act like this. So I'm all about accountability. He is sitting there in court because of his actions. But there are opportunities to resolve some of these matters, but it's going to take years of therapy to overcome all this. It's deeply ingrained in his behavior pattern and his personality. Now, a therapist, a psychologist, or a psychiatrist is going to be tasked with finding out, is this a acute situation? Is this something that's been long term? Or is this a sign of a bigger problem, which is a personality disorder? They're going to find out. He's going to be diagnosed with a certain type of condition, whether it be bipolar disorder, whether if he's in a manic phase, meaning that he's just, those people that you kind of describe as being elevated, like the gamblers, being in an elevated state where you don't sleep, where your mood and rational thinking is disrupted. They're going to find out, is he in that state? Does he have some bipolarity in his mood? They're going to assess that. Then they're going to start to assess his philosophical beliefs about things. Do you believe that you're above the law? Do you believe that you can function without having this? Did you feel the impulse to message these women? Did you get relief from messaging? What was the purpose and what was gained from doing all this? They got to find the connection between what the behavior was and what the outcome was on his functioning. Maybe he needed that to calm down. So they're going to assess the complete profile of Sherrone Moore, is his functioning psychologically. And then they got to determine, based on further evaluation, it's not a quick one session, couple hour interview. Over time, you find out, is this a symptom of a personality disorder? Is this a symptom of narcissism, of antisocial personality disorder, somebody that is narcissistic personality disorder? Does he have a overall pattern of belief in his life that indicates this is much worse than what we got going on? So there's so many factors. It could be PTSD from trauma that he experienced in his life. That will be determined. Good afternoon, Doc. Sorry, but when you cheat, eventually you get caught. At the basic level, of course, it's a complete disruption of family functioning. It's a complete disrespect. But of course, there's going to be factors in that relationship that are clearly disruptive. Cheating is produced by a lot of reasons. That will be figured out. Clearly, it was not a stable relationship that he needed to be in. He wasn't having his needs met, and he probably has a current potential nature in his personality that warranted this type of behavior. And what we're talking about is possible reasons that I wanted to share. That is in my head. I want to share it. Broski Bear. He has a need to keep it in your pants disorder. He messed up and got caught. He threw away his marriage and his daughter's trust. No excuses here. And that's what I love about broadcasting, is we can have silliness. And I am silly with my clients. I'm not always serious. There are times to be serious and there are times to have levity. Sherrone Moore. Mr. Macaroon, you diagnosed him with a keep it in your pants disorder? We don't see that in the insurance. Remember, laughter is the best medicine, truly. That's the secret to the success on X. Mr. Macaroon, your comments on X reflect that you tone deaf. Yeah. The best is the ones that don't know the ones that know nothing about me, that don't know my specialties, my expertise, are the ones judging my comments. Just block me and move on. Javier, good afternoon. Sorry, when you cheat, eventually you get caught. Javier Marquez. It's not a yes, of course. It on a side note, outside of the professional realm of psychology, it's undefeated. Everybody knows it. Snow bunnies are the downfall of everybody, right? Isn't that what Dr. Umar says? Snow bunnies are the killer. I mean, I never believed that. I'm starting to believe snow bunnies might be the killer. Diagnosis: caught up in the snow bunny, per Dr. Umar. And I always joke that I don't know the man, but I find I find the entertainment in some of the things he would say. And it would just come across my desk, and I'm so busy that I'm doing all these things, and I'd be like, these snow bunnies are bringing down the world. And I would laugh, and I would be like, that's one way of putting it. But I look at it much more simple. Yeah. If you go down that road of inappropriate relationships and you focus on that, that'll bring every great man down. It's undefeated. The urge, us men and our perverted brains, we can't get it out. We can't keep it in our pants. You're the coach of Michigan. Jonathan says selfishness. So I look at it, okay, now let's get back to being serious for a minute. Let me give the shout out to those here. Hit the like button as we conversate. Trippy Gypsy, Jonathan, Broski Bear, Duncan, always enjoy seeing you. Duncan says Sherrone Moore was charged with home invasion and stalking. His weapons were used to threaten himself. Look what you did to me. Childish take, coach. The excuses have to end. The needing to be rewarded for everything and sensitivity and delicate mental makeup is immature and not going to get it done in life. I respect your opinion, Broski Bear. TM. Several staff at Michigan said Sherrone was exhibiting signs of stress on the job, and he should have been referred to an employee services program and not summarily terminated. He could have been suspended. Nah, at that level, I'm sorry. It's a violation of code. There's no way you're going to float that to the whole matter. We'll talk about that. All right, so here's a psychological situation you look at. Clearly, it's a big puzzle, and the joy in psychology is to kind of put together the puzzle as to what happened. Clearly, he's in a stressful job. He's in a job where every loss is magnified. He's under a microscope. There's pressure, clearly, to win, to keep up the standard, to keep up the respect of his family name, and to keep up the winning culture at Michigan. It's a win or take all mentality. And to be a coach, you got to be somebody with a very driven ego and a driven mentality. You got to believe that you're, competitive at even a level that is considered unhealthy, where all you think about is winning, the impact on you, your family. And winning at the high level has a reward, which is dollars, prestige, feeding your ego. And guess what? He got to feed his ego, part of a national champion. And also, too, just look at it outside of the, we'll talk about the inner workings psychologically, too, but just look at it from a behavioral standpoint. Went through that whole situation with Connor Stallions and the NCAA. He came out in a position where, look, we at Michigan, we were able to accomplish our goals. And yeah, we faced some certain penalties, but not to the point where I didn't elevate myself. Jim Harbaugh tabbed me as the guy, and I worked in a program at the highest level, and we were able to skirt the rules. And look what the accountability was: nothing, fines and money. And Jim Harbaugh gets another job that pays him more. They didn't take away the celebrations, so he never felt the accountability. He sure felt it now when he broke the laws. But in the NCAA world, he got fed further belief that I'm above the law. The entire Michigan athletic department is that way. Why do you think people have bolted? They understood. They skirted responsibility. Do you think Jim Harbaugh cares that he can't coach in college football anymore? He got his ring. He got his accolades. People are that fan base is happy. But do we not talk about the trail of destruction that you did to the Block M and the respect level of the university? They don't care. Winning in sports sometimes trumps all. And I get the mentality. I get that mentality. Winning is an aphrodisiac. It's just enticing. And when you win at the highest level, you get rewarded, you get accolades. Sherrone Moore, appointed the head coach of Michigan, named the head coach of Michigan at a prestigious Big Ten university. But he was part of things and he saw things where there was no accountability. And so it feeds the belief, feeds irrational thinking. So now you have somebody that is ego driven, that is very highly motivated, that's in a in a pressure cooker, and there's stress. And now you also have to maintain a double life. This guy is quietly engaging in behaviors that are inappropriate, sliding into all these DMs. Now, if you're married, the easiest thing to say is, move on. But these relationships, it's not that easy. I wish my session, my marital sessions would be one and done. Oh, this doesn't look like it's going to work out. End it. But they don't. They want to work on things. So there's this love-hate relationship in marriages. Guys, you guys know, you guys all have that friend that has that crazy relationship where you're like, man, this guy should have broke up 10 years ago. But they fight and fight and fight, and they're willing to stay in that marriage for the kids and for sake of the appearances for years. So he's also engaging in inappropriate sexual behaviors and inappropriate power dynamics. It's a choice. You are a leader. You could go find other relationships. You found somebody within the organization. That's a rule. So one, you disregard rules. You don't have respect enough for the institution you work for's rules. No fraternization with the help. But when you believe you're when you have this irrational belief and it's been fed by your past experiences, nothing's going to happen. I coach Michigan. We win. I beat Ohio State. I beat Ohio State like a drum. I feel good. I'm not being penalized for my actions. I'm being rewarded. I feel good. I keep engaging in the same cycle of disruptive and immoral behavior. And guys, when you engage in those behaviors, eventually it will come to light. What's in the darkness will always come to light. Always. May not be now, may not be tomorrow, but when you live immorally, you will end up facing consequences. And then it comes to a head. So now you have somebody that's ego driven. You have somebody that is in a pressure cooker and it's crumbling. The lie is being crumbled. He became clearly aware that everybody was knowing about it. The university is talking about it. You lost the Ohio State game. Now the heat's surrounding you. So his world is caving in on him. The secret's going to come out. The stress level goes way up. The rational thinking goes way down. When you're in that moment, your rationality goes out the window. It's irrational. He became irrational. And his thinking was, I need to eliminate the problem. See? Most rational people own up to it and they accept the consequence and they handle the stress in their life in a healthier way. Sherrone did not do that. He was not equipped with the psychological tools to understand the consequences of his behavior, understand the ramifications of his behavior, think outside the box. And then when he was faced with the first time, I have a consequence. I've been fired unceremoniously. Knowing that he was fighting against that, knowing that he was fighting the uphill battle, he knew that he was at Michigan and that he was a guy that potentially was in that spot because Jim Harbaugh left and he wasn't going to have the universal support of the university. That he knew. I mean, Sherrone Moore had to have known that any sign of weakness, he was going to be let go. That's a lot of stress. That's a lot of pressure to live under while you're living a double life. So now you have all this pressure in your system. You've been trying to battle, and now something outside. Now a guy like Sherrone Moore needs that control in his life. He's set up a life that's been fully controlled. Can act secretly, is a football coach doing his thing, getting paid handsome dollars. Now there are factors outside of his control. Somebody's going to speak out on what happened. They're going to rat me out. His first thought was not to take accountability and take acceptance for his behavior. His first thought was to lash out aggressively. Inappropriate. When somebody is faced with that level of disturbance, you can't control their thinking or behavior. You could tell him, Sherrone, okay, you could get another job. You got to face the consequence. Nope. He went into rage mode. And he went into a level of disruption mentally that led to his behaviors. He had a mental break. He had a mental disturbance that resulted in this aggressive, irrational, and really, quite frankly, dangerous behavior. And thankfully, we in these situations, this is where cops get involved and there could be lethal interventions. This is a situation where you're thankful, outside of our judgments on Sherrone Moore, we're thankful he survived this. He didn't get shot. He didn't hurt anybody else. We're thankful the police came and took him to the necessary facilities to get him in order. Thankfully, because this could have been catastrophic. I ain't say that. The seams of his made-up reality and reality became intertwined. It would be the two galaxies colliding. Catastrophic results for everyone. When you have somebody that is living in a world of delusion and denial, and it all comes to light, the ramifications behaviorally can be extremely detrimental. Everybody knows. You're fired. Your control is gone. You got to face the consequences with your family. The impact can be too much for people when you haven't consistently felt consequences and lived a clean life. When it comes, smacks you right in the face, wild shit can happen. And so clearly he's got a condition that therapy he's gonna need a couple years to. First of all, he's got to get over his legal matters. He's got to get his life in order, probably, with his family, get that in order. But he needs time away from the highest profile and coaching job in college football, and get his life in order, his behavior, his worldviews in order, get his life in order, get his moral compass way adjusted. Everything, when you start living in denial and delusion and you don't lead a clean life, it can lead you to the pathway of destructive behaviors, irrational, destructive, impulsive behaviors. And when that goes down that road, it's dangerous and it's hard to repair. It's hard to repair that level of dysfunction when somebody's in it for that long. Let me know, because this is the first time I've spoken publicly in this manner. I'm a sports expert and I'm also a mental health expert. Am I making sense with my explanation? I have never publicly talked in this manner, but I felt the need to, because people see me and they see how my ego presents itself in sports, and that's just me seeking my own validation. This is my expertise. This is my life's work. This is what I spend hours dreaming and thinking about and wondering. This is the joy that I've experienced in life. This is the real me, the mental health clinician. The sports guy loves it, the competition, and my little taste of proving people wrong. And also, too, I can elicit emotions pretty easily. It's fun. It's sports. You get riled up. But I do believe when the time comes, I should share my true expertise. Why keep it in? I am, 25 years of studying behavior, and I know human behavior. I know what drives people. I know what sends people off the beaten path. And I know how to repair it, most importantly. Yeah. And I'm doing that too. I have clients that I work with that struggle with failure, mostly, high end profile. You think it's easy? You don't think NIL has messed up some kids? I have some clients. You don't think NIL and the pressure to succeed in all these travel sports, us parents are doing a bad job. The number one disruption in this country is parenting. It hasn't been expertly taught. We got a bunch of bad parents out here. Really bad parents. A behaviorist, doc? No cognitive theory for you. No, if you want to know my theory, cognitive behavioral, like everybody else. Think well, be well, act well. I am a cognitive behavioralist. That's what universities will teach you. Helps you get, because of, with insurances, and you want to get people thinking on the right path and their worldviews the right way. Yep, CBT. That's me. But I'm also a realist. I'm also a motivational type person. Hey, you want to lose weight? Okay, go lose weight. Go do it. CBT now, unfortunately, Jonathan, I got competition. CBT and CBD. My clients love it. They're like, John, I know it's fun to talk to you. It's really great. I know, you're not that cheap, but if I just get high, would I feel better? And I'm like, you tell me, go get high and tell me. And we joke around in a serious light. Anakin knows. Doc, there are so many bad parents out there that my mom deals with it. It's insane. Is she a teacher? Is she a counselor as well? Saki 907. What up, though, Doc? This is the true stuff right here. Sports are awesome. This is huge. Thank you for doing this. I can't say that enough. Betrayal trauma is very hard to heal and grow from. Of course. When you've lived a double life and it comes to light, it's like a band-aid getting ripped off. You've been living this double life, this life of deceit and delusion and immoral, and it comes to light, and the whole world knows it, and you can't control it. Your whole worldview collapses, and when whole worldviews collapse, you end up becoming an out of control maniac at that level, especially if there, which I don't know, but there could be some trauma in there, trauma reactions. A lot of it is what you know, what you've seen in life. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. And please forgive me, give me grace. I have not spoken this way ever before. But you see, it naturally comes out. I am a mental health, I am a person living in a life of psychology. And no, I'm open book. I have never been in therapy. I have never had any episodes. I am a healthy, functioning adult male. The one thing you'd probably say is I'm overly testosterone driven. I am a grown man with grown man behaviors. High testosterone, elevated ego, wants to prove himself in every facet of life, wants to meet his goals, and wants to make big goals. Wants to push himself to try to do things he's not comfortable with. So I said, should I do this? Should I talk about it? Do people care? Maybe they'll see. Or maybe the clowns that message me on the internet, which I still love. Listen, section 344, I still love you no matter what. I may come at you a little hard, but that's the one thing that's my pet peeve is you don't know anything about me. You know the clown that acts on X. You don't know anything about me. You've never met me. I mean, the first simple question could have been when you saw that, why did you post that? And I would say, no, I'm not. I mean, it's lighthearted, but yeah, I could theoretically be called upon to serve for Sherrone Moore. Now, okay. I have to also now in life preface this. This is not the serious moment. This is just the hilarious moment. Could you imagine? I get the phone call because, let me say this. The connection between the legal system and me is not the best. You know what I mean? They don't know anything about me. They just see a name on a list and they'll call. They'll be like, hello. A nice lady will get on the phone with me. And that's okay. Now you guys know, those that aren't here, I have two phones for two different reasons. One phone for sports and one phone for psychology. And they don't blend. Some people believe I had two phones with all the sources. No, I can handle the sources for sports with one phone. They'll call me, Mr. Macaroon, we got this person. Would you be willing to see them? Do you have any openings in your busy schedule? We know you're busy. I'll be like, hey, Sheila, how you doing? Yeah, it's good. I know I slid in your DMs a couple weeks ago. You didn't answer. She'll be like, John, you're married. I'll be like, I know, but she don't care. I'm kidding. I just tell that to my wife. She's like, Sherrone Moore does that. I have never slid in a DM I don't believe in my life. Not once. I thought about it, but never acted upon it. I've been married, but I don't think that, and also too, that's not really the best way to introduce yourself. I feel like it's primitive. So I've never done that, but I'm a man. And so I looked at it from the perspective of, Sherrone Moore. Mr. Macaroon, yeah. Okay, Sheila. Yeah, I know what's going on. Okay, what's good? Look, what's your schedule like? Do you have any openings? I know you're busy. Would you like to take this 39-year-old male client? He's, going to be court ordered. And he also had, okay, what's his name? Last name Moore, Moore. I'm like, okay, what's his first name? Sherrone. The first thing I do, I would start laughing because they would never know. Like, I would be the last person that would even be able to do that. But I would say, you know what, Sheila, I'm sorry. I would love this opportunity, but unfortunately, I cannot treat Mr. Moore. It just wouldn't work out. I have preconceived feelings because I'm a state. It's not to say that I can have work with people who are Wolverines. We do all the time. I have a steak cup in my desk, and everyone laughs and we joke around. But I've covered the man, being that I've written about him. I've covered him in a way where I have judgments about his professional life. Zali, he threatened himself, not her. He threatened to harm himself. That's still inappropriate behaviors. Still inappropriate in the manner in which these things happen. And listen, I'm not deep into the weeds on Sherrone Moore's uh, you know, details here of everything that he did when he went to the lady's house and what happened and all that kind of stuff. It was wrong. It got him put in a clink. Yeah. That's a professional way to say it. I used a lot of big words, preconceived notions. Yes, I am biased on the no, actually, I could, in a sense, understand his situation and get him to where he needs to go. But ethically speaking, I've had a previous relationship with him in a different sense. Compromise is maybe even better word. It's unethical because it's not like somebody I just don't know. But should I write the letter, guys? Should I, for the sake of Michigan football, to bring them back, write the letter to the judge and say, dear judge, I'm this person. I'm an expertise in human behavior. I'm an expertise in human trauma. I've worked with this many people. I'm also in sports. I am uniquely qualified to help Mr. Sherrone Moore. The shrink zone with Doc. People are like, wait a minute. You're not just some loudmouth on the internet? No, I have a whole other life. That's the crazy part is I found two passions that drive me to be the best version of me, sports and psychology. Conflict of interest. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. All those things, but it wouldn't happen. Like I said, it just wouldn't happen. So there's a lot of things that we have rules in this business, but I do believe I could help him. I could help anybody. At 46 years old, 25 years in, I feel like I can help anybody. Help and fully meet everybody's goals, different thing. Use the force for the dark side. Trolling the courts, Padawan. Bad is. What do you guys think? Do you think that, what was it like when you saw the picture? It's jarring. Ryan Ermani, the great broadcaster, said surreal. Anthony Tottenham. All right, the jokes start. Let's start with a little levity. Doc has Dr. Phil on speed dial. No, come on, man. This is 2025. Raise my standards. I got Dr. Drew. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me. Sometimes I am. And let me apologize. Let me apologize formally here on the air. Yes, it's a joke. I'm responding to a message. Now, when you follow me at Detroit Podcast, if there's a message that you kind of believe is fake, it most likely is. So I put out a tweet that some people took literally. It was not real, clearly. I said, Sherrone Moore just told me from jail the documentation is no way a text message since he deleted them all. Guys, it's a joke. The traveling cat dad. This is a joke, right? Why would Sherrone talk to the media? And more importantly, why would he admit to destruction of evidence? Guys, listen, if you listen, I use X, and here was my theory on X, so you guys can finally know. In 2013, I said, what would happen if somebody just spewed out whatever was in their head without any filter? If he just thought it and he posted it, what would happen? I said, I'd probably get canceled. Like I said, I already had an established career. I'm fine. And I said, what happened if somebody that loves sports just talked junk on the internet and never cared, for the most part, what he said? What would happen? And by and large, I didn't get canceled because people knew the real side of me. and they heard the podcast. They're like, okay, this guy's just clowning around. He's having fun. And so I just kept doing it, and I just keep doing it even at 46. From the time I've been 33 to 46, all I do is if I think something stupid on X, and clearly I'm trolling with Sherrone Moore because the Michigan fans gave us a bunch of grief with Mel Tucker. I talk a lot of junk on the internet for fun, just for the pure fun of it, because I can. Who wouldn't do it? I got rewarded to do it. And in some crazy sense, I got rewarded to do it. And I have no need. I mean, I clearly there's some level of a filter now, but I have fun on X, guys. If you want the serious, just ask. Be like, John, is this real? I'm having fun. I'm having a lot of fun on X. It's a cesspool, so why not? If it's a clown show, I can lead the train in the clown show. But I've posted some dumb stuff about Sherrone Moore on X. All of it's dumb. What do you think I've said? You think Sherrone Moore is messaging me from jail? No. Sherrone Moore did not message my family. No. Sherrone Moore does not text me. No. Right, Steve. I get it. I think Steve, you and that's what's as good as there's a lot of people that do get it. Like, okay, he's clowning around. He's being quite the clown on this Sherrone Moore thing. And I will reveal my joke too. I went on crunch time and I said I got a joke to deliver. And I tried hard, Steve. If you hear it, I want you to go to the 2-hour show, and when I start, I'm delivering a joke, and I wrote the joke, and I every time I delivered it in practice, I laughed, and I said, "Oh boy, here we go! It's crunch time. It's air time. I'm gonna tell this joke." And I set it up, and almost when I was about to deliver it, I almost started laughing. And so you got to be able to control it because you're going to deliver this. And so I'm talking, and the best part about those two guys is they really believe, about the reporting standard. They want to be serious about it. And the funny part is sometimes I'll act like a reporter, sometimes I'll act like a podcaster, sometimes I'll act like me, sometimes I'll act like a professional. I just go in there, have a couple drinks, and say whatever the hell I want. And so I'm about to deliver this joke, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And I said, guys, I went to my sources, and they were telling me Sherrone Moore could have got away with this, but he went too far. Sherrone Moore went too far, and he used official Michigan Wolverines letterhead to try to write a letter to the commissioner to try to change the name of the conference to the Big 10 Inches Conference. And I still and people are like, why would you deliver Big 10 inches? Come on, now that's funny. And so that's me. That's just how I've always been. I don't take things that seriously. Sometimes I should, but that was the first thought I had when I was writing that joke. I wrote it out. I said, all right, Sherrone Moore tried to petition the conference to change it to Big 10 inches. And I thought it was funny. It might not have been funny, but some people online did not take too kindly to it, but it's that's how I am. All right. So now back to it before we start talking about the Lions. If you guys have any questions, what's your reaction to the whole Sherrone Moore thing? It's a sad situation. He does need help. There is obviously some clear delineation that he needs to kind of make with himself with his behaviors. And with Sherrone Moore, it's something that you hope he can fix in his life to get back to being a functioning human. More importantly, be a functioning dad and a human being that is civil and can function as a human being. Not this person that became who acted that way when he got fired. And then Michigan needs to clean up its act in all seriousness. They're just as bad as Michigan State. They're not the leaders. They're not the best. They are defunct. They are morally corrupt. They sold their soul for a championship, which I understand. But then you can't turn around and then judge other programs that you feel you're better than because you're just the same. Yeah, the Sherrone Moore story has a lot of layers, and there's still a bunch of layers that are going to come out. Yep, he's getting released. 25K. Yeah, exactly. You got it. He's not a threat. He should be okay, and he's got to follow the rules. What do you guys think about the whole Sherrone Moore saga? I'll highlight some, but That's my understanding. Did I do a good enough job of explaining it at the base level of what I think happened? It's a psychological disturbance. He's not psychologically healthy. And then um, always take care of your mental health. You know it. Your gut will tell you. Am I healthy? Am I not healthy? Am I happy enough? Am I satisfied? Use the word satisfied. Am I satisfied? If you're not, pursue changes and seek therapy. There's many of them out there. Free way to do it, psychologytoday.com. psychologtoday.com. Psychologytoday.com. You type in your zip code and 50 therapists will pop up. And keep calling. Keep calling. Never neglect your mental health. It's super important. And always share a laugh. Always know that there's people that care about you, and never, always, really basic, simple mental health advice. Stop and think for 2 minutes before you make any decision in life. Stop and think, make good decisions, and take care of your mental health. It's important. And there's a lot of other platforms too. I'll share them too. BetterHelp, for sure. Psychologist near me, Google. But please take care of your mental health and know that it's very important, and know that serious disruptions can cause a lot of problems. And it's very much so that if you don't take care of it, and let's let go of the stigma. I'm so happy the NFL has therapists on site. I'm so happy that it used to be viewed as a weakness. It's not. You talk about your feelings, you feel better. I promise you. Just talking about it, even if you don't do anything about it, you'll feel better. Guys, let me let you in on a secret before I will talk about the Lions. But let me tell you something. I was one of the rare people that knew podcasting was going to blow up. Why did I know that? Why did I know that it would be viewed as one of the most engaging ways? Once I heard the premise, it's deep conversation. It's sharing your feelings. It's a deep, intimate connection with the person you're talking to. It's psychology. Podcasts are a gateway to human needs, which is communication, insight. So I already knew that. So in 13, when I started doing it, I immediately got hooked. I get to talk about sports with my cousin, somebody I love that I would talk shit with for free. What a blessing. I get to do that every week and have people listen and debate and message me, total strangers. What a beautiful, I knew in 13, okay, Adam Carolla's doing it. It's growing. I knew what it would become. I knew it would be a global thing. I knew it would be a form of communication and entertainment at the highest level. I knew. So I kept doing it, and I kept pressing the sports teams like, hey, this is going to be media. And I told all the sports teams, this is media. And they're like, no, it's not. And I said, yes, it is. So I'm very happy that I got to promote this. So if you ever want to know what I am, I'm a psychologist and I'm a podcaster. Those are the only two labels that have a meaning to me. Whatever you want to say. And I use all of them too, which is funny, is that, wait a minute, you're a reporter, a writer, a journalist, an insider, this, that. I'm like, guys, you can pick whatever label for the week you want to call me. But two things I would want you directly to know about me. I'm a podcaster, and I love that word. That truly encapsulates what I am, and I respect it. And I don't care what you think about it. You can call me internet scum, call me whatever you want to call me. I forced my way into the NFL. I forced my way to ask Dan Campbell questions. I earned it from the ground up, from nothing. So I value that word, and I'm a psychologist. I study human behavior, and I kind of use it to help people and to help me. And I think it comes across that that's what it is. I'm an expert in human behavior. Yeah. Booner says he couldn't understand the whole concept. John, well, okay. If you want to call me a clickbait artist or reporter, what do you think I'd rather be called? And if he hears the discussion, if he breaks it down, I'm honest. I told him I am a human being. I wrestle in sports with my head, with the facts, and my heart. That's how I intro all these talks with them. And I tell them, today I'm telling you from my head. Here's what I think analytically. Today, I want to talk from the heart. You don't think I read the analytical on paper piece, top to bottom, to understand that the Rams have a statistical advantage over the Lions? I know that. But I feel like the Lions are going to win because I think Stafford sucks. So what are you going to do with that, Booner? But John, I thought you were a reporter. You're just out here. No, I'm talking from the heart. I know on paper, all the Rams advantage everything. But I believe Stafford sucks. So the Lions are winning. Yeah, Zale. See, that's what people don't understand. Sports and straight-laced journalism doesn't work. It's pure emotion. I can go from my head to my heart too quickly. Some people just take out this part, but this part's the juice of sports. This is the best part. This is the podcast. Yeah, I can sit here and go to a site and tell you guys, hey guys, based on True Media, the Detroit Lions have the second highest scoring offense in the whole league. Well, whoop-de-fucking-do. Guess what? The Rams have one of the best defensive lines. They're going to come after you. Doesn't mean shit. Go out there and who's going to win? So I believe the sports juice is here. And of course, you got to bring the cognitive, smart, factual things, but sometimes you just want to talk from the heart. And I told him that. But you're a reporter, Doc. Okay. Zali, you're knowledgeable, my dog. Thank you. And I think baseline level, I wanted to talk about Sherrone Moore, and I wanted to also talk for the first time psychologically to see if I could do it. Now, let's talk about something more positive. Please share your thoughts with me. What do you think about the Sherrone Moore situation? How does it end? Is it going to end good? Do you think he'll do the work? Will he repair his reputation? Will he be like a Bobby Petrino and get back in this world? I think it would be best for him not to. When you have a boundary issue, well, how about this? Free first advice. I'd be like, dog, Sherrone, next time you're a head coach, all male assistants. All males. You're tempted by the devil, brother. You're tempted by the devil. The devil got its hooks in you. The snow bunny devils. Can't have it. My man. And then I'd say, what the hell did you do to Bryce Underwood? Why didn't you throw him the ball? And then I really would ask him, like, did you really text message these girls during halftime? Like, dog, like, did you do it in like Schembechler Hall? Did you do it in the office? Did you like did you tap it at like at nighttime by the statue? Because think about it. Listen, I'm a realist. Do you think he relieved himself in the office? Do you think this is what I think about? Do you think he was on a recruiting call while he was enjoying himself? Probably, right? Yeah, come to Michigan while he's having sex in the office. I'm sorry. See, that was the non-serious side. And it might come out. Sherrone, did you like tap it while you're trying to recruit somebody? Did you get like a big tight end? Like, did you recruit a person? What was his name? Did you recruit somebody while you were having sex on the phone? Yeah, he's probably like, yeah, of course I did that. All right. A little bit of seriousness, a little bit of levity. Thank you for that hour. Probably go another 15 minutes. But I do want to talk about the Lions. I agree, Theo. I do think he might be finished as a coach. What did you think of my assessment of Sherrone Moore? Do you have a different viewpoint? If there's another therapist that comes in here, I always enjoy talking to therapists who might think differently. I think I gave you a reasonable insight regarding my knowledge of human behavior. Got out of whack. Boundaries. First and foremost, boundaries. You got to have good boundaries. All right. Thank you for that, listening for that hour. The Lions, it's key. Look, everyone knows the Rams are running, I think, 13 personnel at a high level, but they can disguise it and to do a bunch of different things. My God, everyone knows. When you look at the numbers, Matthew Stafford is crushing it against the blitz. You can't blitz Stafford. That's a problem. We got a problem. There is a problem. We got a problem analyzing this game. Matthew Stafford is throwing the hell out of that football. So it makes my Stafford's overrated short really stupid, but I don't care. I'm coming at you from the heart. I feel like with no statistical number, I'm just going with my gut that Amik's going to pick him off and Jack Campbell's going to pick him off. And we're just going to maybe manifest that the bad Stafford shows up and he plays bad. How? Not blitzing him. You have to win with your front four. You got to get him off his spot. So can the Lions upset the Rams? Hell yeah, they can. This is a Stafford sucks game. How do I know? Because I've seen a lot of those games. This is a Stafford sucks game. And I don't care what you think about it. I don't care if it doesn't happen. He might end up with 5 touchdowns, and I got egg all over my face. It's sports. It has no meaning. My feeling is that the Lions are going to try to win with the front 4. The Rams' offensive line isn't that great. Good, not great. This is a game where we got to call upon Aiden Hutchinson to do more. Not that more, real more. Sack Stafford. Aiden's going to break out this game. He's going to have 3 sacks. You got to do more. M-O-O-R-E. You got to treat Stafford like a snow bunny. Right? You know I'm going to say it, right? Should I text Aiden? Should I text Aiden Hutchinson? Are you mad about what's going on in Michigan? How you feel about it? It happened where nobody could ask about it yet. I don't think he's going to answer it. Treat Stafford like Shiver. S-H-I-V-E-R. See red. What is the outcome of this game? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think the defensive line needs? And what I'm saying is, in a crude way, how do you get yourself to play NFL football? You got to put yourself in a mindset to get aggressive. Like this, we need him to be really in a mindset, because I feel like Aiden's a nice guy, but I need him to tap into like beast mode. I need him to tap into a zone of ferocity that can be harnessed in a game, whatever that may take. Like, whatever it may take, treat it like that. View that Stafford stole your girlfriend. Whatever it takes. View that Stafford was the reason that the Lions sucked from 2009 to 2021. Whatever a defensive lineman needs, because you got to remember, they got to become ferocious. They have to destroy the quarterback. So obviously I used a crude analogy, but what I'm saying is, what will it take for Aiden Hutchinson to become beast mode, to become Garrett mode? What will it take? Because eventually Aiden's got to carry that defense. Aiden and El Quadine have to show up. They got to be beast mode. And I'm talking about, we want to hit Stafford at least 10 times and put him in the ground 4 times minimum. They got to make Hutchinson and El Quadine have to make Stafford shiver with fear. They got to make Stafford shiver. That's the secret. He's got to be shaking in his boots. Stafford must shiver this game. He's got to be feeling uncomfortable. He's got to be shaking. He's got to not know, where's it coming from? Aleem? Is it coming from Aiden? Is it coming from my left, from my right? He's got to be shivering this whole game. Zali's like, hit his hand. Anne-Marie, ER, yes, the Lions can beat the Rams. Yet what is needed is that the Lions team has to bring in their 12, A+++++ game on Sunday. You're absolutely right. Al Quadine, Aiden. They got to make Stafford shiver. Stafford is a naughty kid and the Lions are Krampus. Nice. Zali, we put up 40 on the Rams. Steve, I like what you're saying too. Spitting out the get the game controlled with David Montgomery. Hit him with some Jahmyr Gibbs explosiveness. uh, I did not. And also, too, I do have an opinion on that. Like, we all know investigate guys, I don't get as mad, but investigative journalism is not the thing that is the most fun to do. And I think it takes resources. And I do believe this kind of stuff should have been brought to light a little bit faster, but I don't rail upon it because I feel like investigative journalism is a niche thing that requires resources. And I feel like it's becoming more and more popular and people more want it. But I just feel like it's a lot of beating your head against the wall, and you gotta be supremely patient to try to work with people that you need information from, and then to kinda source it all. It's an endeavor. It's an endeavor. Yeah. We all know Sherrone sprayed all over that office, right? Could you imagine? Oh, yeah, I mean, first thing, if you're Kalen DeBoer, I need that whole office fumigated. Fumigate that office. I call up Sherrone Moore from jail. I'd go visit him. Listen, Sherrone, I need to know. Did you spray all over that office, bro? My God. Bro, did you do it here? Here? Weight room? Shower? Where did you do it, Mr. Moore? Listen, I'm sorry, Miss Assistant. Um, there are no tapes, right? Like, none of this is gonna show up on TMZ, right? Okay. Like, could you imagine? Now, okay, I got distracted again. See, this is what happens when you have a wandering mind. Could you imagine if he was like a freak and like had her wear like a M flag and he's in his office? All I mean, they probably had block M's everywhere. She's got a flag go covering her doing her thing. Say it. Say it. Bo, bo, bo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just let it go where my mind goes. Bo, say it. Say it louder. Bo. Bo knows. Or I can't even say that. Because me, I would definitely go down that road. Like, what were you guys into? Like, where were you guys doing it? What were you guys saying? Mr. Macaroon, that is so unbecoming. Come on, you're thinking it too. Where were you guys doing it? Like, I heard he had a fascination with the jugs machine, allegedly. Exactly. You guys are funnier than me. Exactly. These are things I think about. Come on. You're not thinking about it? Mr. Macaroon, that is so unbecoming of a journalist. Uh, I hope one day you get to laugh as much as I have these last handful of years. Yes, Patty Grimes, tell Aiden we need 3 sacks from him. Patty, I want to be honest with you. I just want to walk up to him and be like, so about that Coach Moore, huh? He sure know how to nail him. He sure know how to pick him. Oh, man, he would look at me and just keep walking. Okay, I got to toot my own horn. Yeah, listen, let me say it differently. Right now, we have about 80 members on Lions on SI. Dan Campbell said today Kirby Joseph had a setback. If you were a member, you knew that yesterday. You would be in the know. So I'll reveal some of the contents because it's been live and most people who are members have now seen it. Yesterday, I tried to speak to Kirby Joseph and he totally blew me off. Very weird in that he looked me. I've never had this happen. And I actually kind of was jarred by it. I didn't know I've never seen that happen, but I knew he wasn't happy. And I did an exclusive member video on it. And those things I'll be providing for members. And it's just an additional way to keep the lights on, to help. You saw Emmett, Vito, Christian, it's the holidays, can give them bonuses, keep the lights on. But you tell me, how would you handle this? Because it's never happened to me before. And it might be normal, but it's never happened in 7 years. And I'm sensitive about it, but all he had to say was no. And I get it. And I get the human element of it, but I walked right up to him and I didn't want to talk about his health. Of course, I would have asked about it, but I said to him, "Hey, I heard that you want to fund your high school's team. I heard, maybe I was wrong, but I said, I think your high school is in the state finals or you gave a lot of money to them. I just want to know about it." He looked me dead on in the face, like really, like just man to man, eye to eye, and just kept walking. No words, no acknowledgement, just kept walking. Like I didn't talk to him. I've never had that happen. Now it's kind of it's weird to me. Like you could just say, "No, man, I'm busy." I've heard no 1,000 times. The general thing that people will say is, "No, man, I got to get to a meeting. No, man, I got to get a lift." Most will say, "Man, I can't today, but for sure, find me tomorrow." 99% will say, "I can't, but find me tomorrow. I'll honor your request." Man to man. Or at the very basic level, "Sorry, man, I'm not talking to you." No problem. It's very weird when someone looks you in the face and walks off and dismisses you. I get it if you're not happy, but a simple, we've heard the word no. I've heard, and trust me, you guys know me. I've heard the word no from the time I was 18. No, we're not going on a date. No, I'm not going to date you. No, I don't like you. No, we're not friends. You're in the friend zone. uh, no, no, I've heard no a million times, but I've never had somebody just walk right by me like that. I was floored. I was first of all like, what? Well, how do you internally as a human make deal of that? Like, I know I'm internet scum. I'm a podcaster. I talk a lot of junk, tell a lot of dumb jokes, but at least a very common courtesy. Just tell me no, dog, no. Or you could just set the standard. Listen, I'm not going to talk to you, and then I'll stop bothering you. Plenty have done that too. I get the sense they see me coming, they walk the other way. We've all seen it. In 7 years, I've seen it all. But that, I've never seen that before. So I knew something was wrong. And listen, I don't take it personally. I knew I obviously, in my video, I declared he's not going to be playing against the Rams. So you would have known yesterday if you were a member. Should I just kept asking him questions? Because he was by the door. But it's very weird when someone takes some slow steps and just walks away from you and doesn't say anything. And I looked at it from like just the basic perspective of I don't need a lot of respect, but just a very little, like I need this much. Just tell me no. No, dog, leave me alone. I've had people say that, man. No, I'm busy. No, no, man. No, can't talk today. No, man, not you. I've heard it all. And I never mentioned it. Never, I always, that was different. Bam, bam. What up, doc? But you try, you build some calluses. You don't take it personally, but I just hope he's okay. Because that's also out of character. He's never been like that. Like he last week, he did that slow walk, but at least said 2 words when he spoke to the media. I hope not. I hope he's not defeated, but yeah, it can't be fun to practice one day and then miss 2 more. I think he's going to be on IR. I really do. So no, 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 nobody on the current roster. The Patricia regime, I developed a relationship with like 2 people, Trey Flowers and one other player. Alex is cool. Listen, me and the linebackers are cool. They respect me because he stood up to me, and then I got a story from Derek. I said, "I'll talk to Derek." They respect me because they thought I was gonna like back down. I said, "No, no, I'll talk to Derek about it. No problem." I talked to Derek. Me and Alex are cool. What are they gonna say? They know I'm a grown man and I stand up for myself. I'm cool. And plus, it's simple. They have one word that shuts down everything. I'm not gonna be a hawk. Hey man, hey, hey Kirby, can I talk to you? No, I'm busy. Okay, I walk away. uh, Come to my oral office, please. Sherrone's been having a lot of meetings with his assistant lately. Brent, been working and lurking. Spam the emojis. Yes. If you're a member, you can spam the emojis. Me, Hefe, and Booner. But yeah, no, I generally feel like I have a good relationship with the locker room for the most part. I hope everything's okay, but I think something is brewing. I think IR potentially is there, and he might not come back this year. But he had a setback, according to Dan Campbell. All right, before I get out of here, about 5-10 minutes, because I do got to write. About 3:45, I would say between 3:45 and 4, the Lions will release their injury report. I do believe Kirby Joseph will be ruled out, so that sucks. So I got to write that. But I've enjoyed this talk. I really did. Thank you guys for being the first audience to hear me speak on psychology and letting some things out. It's fun. I don't want to do it too often because, like I said, I don't know if there's a big audience for that likes to hear psychology in sports, but just wanted to maybe just have it out there on record that I do know human behavior. What's the key for the Lions to win? I think it's going to be Aiden and El-Quadin. I do think offensively, you got to light up the scoreboard. It's going to be a race to not 30, 35. I hope it's an entertaining 38-35 game. I told crunch time 24-23, but it might be a little bit of a higher scoring game. I think Aiden Hutchinson, El-Quadin got to be key. You got to make sure that the secondary plays well, and Amik Robertson and DJ Reed play better than they did against the Cowboys, and you got to score. It's just touchdowns. And so I believe it's a coming out party. Again, St. Brown, Jamo, Gibbs, you ride them until the cows come home, and you score touchdowns, and you get the ball out quickly. I don't think it's going to be a opportunity where Jamo's going to get many deep balls because you need some quality pass, blocking from the offensive line for more than 3 seconds. I don't know if they can do that with Verse, with Kobe Turner, with their linebacker. I don't know. I think a lot of dink and dunk. I think a lot of underneath screens. Find avenues to get creative, and Gibbs, St. Brown, Jamo. Those are the guys. And Montgomery when needed. Ford is 35-38 Lions, baby. That might be my prediction. High scoring, bunch of touchdowns, and opportunities to get after it. Give me in space. Zolly. Puka going to get his 100 plus. Adams might get a few. Guys, I'm number 1 seed in fantasy football, and I hate my first round playoff matchup. I'm 11-3. First time I'm a number 1 seed. I rode in Jigba and Dak Prescott and Justin Jefferson to an 11-3 record. He's got my opponent is the 8th seed, has Trevor Lawrence against the Jets, and has Devontae Adams against the Lions. I am panicking. I've never won this league in the league with my cousin Adam. I want to win this league desperately. I was within 1 transaction last year, and I fought back. I'm gritty. I got to 11-3 this year. I was 1 first-round transaction away. If I would have taken 1 tight end out and put another one in, I would have won that matchup, and then I would have won the next 2 playoff games by a combined 50 points. I had that good a team last year, and I carried over to this year, but I'm scared of a first-round upset. I'm feeling it. Sherrone Moore paid the cool toll. Oh. Steve Lehman, shout out to you for sticking in here. All members have access to the emojis, the member videos. You would have heard about the Kirby Joseph situation yesterday. You would have known something was up. On-demand videos and access to emojis, and you're supporting a podcaster that is fun, that is bringing you insider information, covering the Lions the best of my ability. Uncensored, unfiltered, uncouth. That's me. When you think of uncouth, think of Doc. They're like, what is wrong with him? When you think of unprofessional, when you think of unprofessional, think of him. And they're like, he just laughs at it. Like, who talks like this? Me. You got to give Stafford the shivers. Got to make him move off his spot. I like that attitude, Big M. Need to control the clock by running the ball with Gibbs and Monty. 100%. So we'll see what happens. Guys, first and foremost, smash the like button. We got to 500 people in here. That's really sweet across 2 platforms on a Friday. What's your score prediction? Who do you got? You know it. One of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies of all time. It's a great movie. Man, pay attention. Maybe Kirby Joseph goes on IR today. We'll see. Good morning or good afternoon, my neighbors. I want to give a special shout out to Zali 3035, Saki 907, Brent DeWitt, I Tom GI, Steve Lehman, Brent DeWitt, TM Martin Esquire 6216. Bam Bam. What up to you? Trippy Gypsy, Anne Marie ER. Thanks for everybody that paid attention. I think, like I said, maybe tomorrow mid-afternoon, you guys like it. We'll see how that goes. We'll give a more breakdown of the Rams and the Lions, the key matchups and stuff like that. Today, I just wanted to give my first key is get after Stafford. I think that Stafford is the one that's going to give you this game. I feel like he can be shaken off his spot. Wreck those receivers. Get after it. Don't be, I know he's got like 25 touchdowns against the blitz and he's doing great. And he's just one of those guys that you got to worry about, but I'm not worried. I look for his weaknesses and there's a lot of them. He's a statue. Get after him. Make him uncomfortable. Make him Dan should remind him, this was a guy that played here. Look at all these picks he threw. Just a montage of all the interceptions he threw at Ford Field. Yeah. Semi, I believe these are the people that have stolen our jewelry. Semi, we are supposed to be poor. I would be like Semi. Semi's like, I ain't living in these meager conditions. Send me $5 million. Semi, if I lose, Semi, I'm supposed to be a poor man. Got himself a hot tub. And he called himself the prince. Wait a minute. Semi, if you're the prince, who am I? My royal assistant? the non-verbals in that movie, what makes it classic. Wait, I'm the assistant? That's the best movie of all time. You could sit and watch that movie over and over and over again and get a laugh. One of my first things I tell people is watch a funny movie when they're feeling down in the dumps. You cannot not laugh at that movie. King Jaffe Joffer, Your Royal Highness, we need a lump sum check of $500,000. You think that is enough? Make it $1 million. They were on that plane right away. Yeah, I'm going to go take a bath now, too. I got a big tub, too. The royal podcaster must go handle his business. The royal podcaster is stepping out. Thank you guys for sharing a laugh. I really do feel we're developing something fun where we can laugh, tell jokes, and no judgment, no silly judgments. If you and truly, this is the one thing I want you to know. If you ever take offense to anything I say, it was only meant to be a joke, lighthearted conversation. I never want to elicit the feeling of offense. You take it as you make jokes with your friends that you feel you trust. And I feel like we can do that here. But I never truly, humbly, if I ever make you feel a certain way or I touch on a sensitivity, that's not the intention. The page on X is meant to rile up sports fans, talk fun, be sarcastic, be in the mix there. I never meant to offend anybody personally. And that's the case. That's just the way it is. It's meant to be. The X page really is meant to be like, we're in a cesspool. Let's just act Act a fool and see what happens. That's the thesis. Isn't that crazy? That was my thesis, was act a fool on X, see what happens. And it got me a job. It got me a podcast. It got me a credential. That's craziness. But and I will always say I apologize if I say anything that rubs anybody the wrong way. I think that I'm a regular guy that likes to laugh a little bit, tell jokes, be sarcastic, talk on a podcast whenever he feels like it, and to share a little bit more about myself and what I know. What I know is the Detroit Lions are gonna F up Matthew Stafford. He owes me. Stafford, you owe me. You owe me some interceptions. And then I'll write a nice column about you. You owe me some nice interceptions. And then I won't write bad columns every time the Lions play you. Check out my column. I said that's the best thing that ever happened to the Lions was Stafford quitting. Check out Lions on SI, daily articles, videos, fresh insight, and check the X page. That's where you get the wonky jokes and the fake reports. Oh my gosh. I mean, you can tell. I mean, I think I try to create it in a way where you can tell. And if you ever want to know, just ask. Message me. Doc, are you serious? It's all in jest. You can clearly tell. Your mind will go there. It'll be like, Sherrone Moore texts you that he deleted his messages? Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh, man. Thanks, everybody. Time for the Royal Podcast Bath, and keep writing, keep reading, and let's have some fun. Thank you for the 90 minutes. It was a fun time. I hope everybody gets an opportunity to enjoy this Friday. Many blessings. Take care of your mental health, and the secrets to happiness, for those that are not in therapy, laugh a lot. Keep your thoughts in perspective. Take moments to reflect. And two things, okay? Two big things, okay? If you ever have a question, I'll share. Forgiveness and acceptance. When you lock in on those two concepts, can you really be mad? Think about it. Forgive the haters, accept what you can control, know the difference between what you can control and what you can't. Focus on what you can control. Here's the secret to happiness. Laugh your ass off. Do what you love. Do it intently every day. Acceptance and forgiveness. If you hit on a lot of those things, you'll have the biggest smile on your face as I do. Let's talk soon. Probably tomorrow. We'll talk strategy. We'll get geeky with it. Maybe I'll go into the numbers. I'll go like someone messaged me today. Thanks for the hard hitting analysis. Sometimes it's a Friday. Want to keep it light. I'm not going to hit you with all the DVOA numbers on a Friday. I'll hit it with you. I'll hit geeky. What's the Lions percentage of first down runs that's going to work against the Rams? I'll hit you with all the geeky stuff tomorrow. Sometimes, guys, life is a little stressful, and we want to go lighthearted. Tomorrow, we'll get a little geeky for those that want to. Lions, Rams talk tomorrow. Thanks for listening to my profile of Sherrone Moore. And in the end, we're going to hopefully things work out for the best for all parties involved, and everybody stay safe. Stay safe, stay happy, live, love, laugh. Let's talk soon.